What's up guys, welcome to another video. Today I want to talk to you about one of the most important pieces of online marketing, what I consider to be one of the most important pieces of online marketing, and that's pay-per-click advertising. Now, I've done this for over 6 years. I've worked with hundreds of different businesses, hundreds of different people, and from my experience, I've seen a lot of people get things confused and not really understand how PPC works. A lot of times people even confuse it for SEO, and each one of those components are different. So I want to make sure I go over the basics of PPC today, and that's what we're going to go over right now. All right, like I mentioned earlier, many people confuse PPC with SEO, and there's two distinctions with that. SEO is search engine optimization, which by definition is you're making efforts on your website and outside of your website to make sure that your site shows up on search engines. Now, you do this by optimizing the web pages, you do this by promoting your website through external links like guest blogging or YouTube videos and things like that. But PPC, which is pay-per-click advertising, is when you pay for an ad every time someone clicks on that ad to go to your website. It's a different form of marketing altogether. It's a different effort altogether. So what I want to go over is how PPC works and the different ways that you can run PPC ad campaigns to drive traffic to your website and to your business and start making some more sales and more money overall. There are various ways that you can run PPC campaigns. One of the most common ways that you can do it is by running ads on search engines like Google, Yahoo, and Bing. Now, there are different ad platforms for each. There's even ad platforms and companies that will run ads on all of them all together. But one of the most common ones, and the one I would recommend most people start out with, is Google Adwords. Now, Google Adwords provides a suite of different ads that you can run inside of Google's network. Google has obviously its search engine, which when you type in something on search, you type in keywords, your ad can show up for that particular search. You can also have ads run on YouTube. You can have ads run on the Google Display Network, which if you understand how AdSense works, if you have a blog and you can drive a lot of traffic to your website, you can actually set pieces of your website, certain areas of your website, to allow for ads to be run from the Google network where people will bid to show up on your website because it just has a lot of traffic and it makes sense for businesses if your website fits a certain niche. So there are different ways that you can run ads. What I want to make sure you understand is how to run ads on a search network. So this is in correlation to how you can understand SEO. So I think a lot of people when they're starting out, if they start with search engine ads, if they start with a search campaign, they can understand how keywords work, how to drive traffic to your site, and then how to optimize your site so that you can show up for those keywords organically. Now you'll hear that term a lot, organic traffic. Organic traffic is the traffic to your website when someone finds you on search engines without clicking on any ads, and they actually just found you organically through their search. They found you without any use of third-party or other advertisements to click on to go on your site. When you run search engine ads, what you're doing is essentially bidding every time someone types in a search. The way it works is you set up an ad campaign inside of Google Adwords, and it'll walk you through the steps of creating a search ad, which will then be what shows up on the search result. And then you set your max cost per click limit, and then that will determine how much you're willing to spend every time someone triggers that search. And every time that someone triggers that search, an auction goes up. And based on what everyone else is bidding, if yours is the maximum bid, you are likely to be the first ad that shows up. You'll be the first result, which then captures the person who's searching to click on that link and go to your website. Pay-per-click advertising isn't for everyone, but it is a way to drive traffic, especially when you don't already have a brand name or established brand name where people find you organically. It's a way to measure and understand what types of keywords can drive traffic to your site, what types of keywords convert on your website. So what you can do with Google AdWords is you can actually set up conversion pixels. You can set up a conversion code onto your website. It'll give you a code that you can add dependent on whatever you would consider a conversion. So if you have an online shop, a conversion would be someone purchases a product on your website. Maybe you also have a newsletter sign up. That could be a conversion. If you provide services, you may want people to call you, and that could be a conversion setup as well. The next stages of PPC advertising is understanding how to drive traffic and then also turn that traffic into converting customers. Now, a lot of that may seem complicated, but it's very simple when you understand how the basics work. What you need to do is drive traffic to your website and then have people perform an action that leads to steps in them purchasing a product or converting and paying you in some form or fashion. Depends on what business you're running. But when you understand what you're trying to make them do and what steps they should take, you can measure all that through PPC advertising campaigns, and it's all scalable. So once you understand the numbers and you start seeing what converts, you can then spend more money to drive more traffic to those same exact keywords and then scale your business efforts, your marketing efforts to grow your business. So now let's talk about a couple other forms of PPC advertising. There's another form called display advertising, or a lot of people may call it banner ads. Now, display advertising is what I mentioned earlier, where you can show your ads on networks or websites that have spaces available for a specific banner. You can even design animated images to draw people's eyes and click on those ads when they're on those websites. And in a similar format, you can run these display type ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, and that's pretty much what you're doing there. You set up a photo or an image or a designed image, and you can run it on those networks, whichever campaign you want to run, and then you pay for every time someone clicks. Now let me go over a couple terms and some of the things that you need to look out for to measure how effective your PPC campaigns work. Understanding how much it costs for every time it clicks is a CPC, cost per click. That's how much you paid every time you showed up for that particular search result and someone actually clicked that. The next thing you want to know is how many impressions. Impressions are going to say how many times your ad was shown overall. Someone may not have clicked on your ad, so then you want to measure what's your click-through rate, your CTR. So for every time your ad is shown, how many times does someone click? You may have a click-through rate of 3%, meaning for every 100 impressions, 3 people clicked on your ad. So for every 100 times that someone searches for that specific keyword or combination of keywords that you decided to run the ads on, you get 3 clicks. So understanding those components, you can then optimize your campaign to get a higher click-through rate for every impression, and then also show up for more search results. So you can then start testing other keywords once you have a good click-through rate. Once you've moved on to the steps of optimizing your campaign to understand how you can best drive clicks and traffic to your website, then you can start looking at the metrics that are conversion based. So then you can measure how many conversions you get overall, what's your conversion ratio, so what's your conversion rate in comparison to the impressions that you get online for that search campaign, and then you can actually set the search campaign inside of Google Adwords to be optimized towards the conversions once you have a few in. What I would recommend after a 14-day window, if you have 50 or more conversions, then you can start setting your campaign to be optimized towards conversions and not optimized towards driving clicks and traffic to your website. But if you haven't hit that yet, and if you haven't gotten a lot of conversions, focus on driving traffic and focus on driving that click-through rate, and then understand how the behavior flow happens on your website. And the way you do that is by adding Google Analytics. Google Analytics is going to give you extra details of how people are engaging with your website. There are components to Google Analytics that I would love to go over, but I need to separate that into a separate video because that's a huge topic. But for now, what you need to understand with PPC advertising is that you can drive targeted traffic based on what their search terms are and also which websites have a particular niche that suit your business. When you understand how you can drive targeted traffic to your website by understanding click-through rate, impressions, and how people engage on your website when you set up conversion pixels, then you can scale your business and have people discover you online. Utilize these methods in terms of the search campaign to then understand what types of keywords you should focus on for your SEO marketing initiatives. And when you have those components in place, you'll have a full breadth digital marketing campaign that then you can use to grow your brand and start building a brand name and having people discover you online organically. And with that being said, guys, those are the basics of PPC. If you have any questions or don't know how to get started, leave them in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to answer. And again, if you found this video useful, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos just like this. Again, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching my YouTube video. If you guys found the video useful, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, make sure you check out my blog at brianlozano.com/blog, where you can get more information on the topics I covered in this video, plus more. Also, subscribe to my newsletter so you can get all this information sent directly to your inbox the moment I put up brand new content. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video.